ਕੁਝ ਦੇਖਣੇ ਕਾਲੀ
I think it's time for me, probably a lot of you as well, but definitely me, to realize that it is dusted. It's over. For people like me, it's pretty much over. It's been over for a while. I mean, it's obvious that the future and the direction Call of Duty is not going in any direction that I want. And that seems to be abundantly clear as well, that things are not changing from the tweets and all the information I see from the developers. As far as skill-based matchmaking goes, that's never leaving. That's never going anywhere. And we may think it's bad, but apparently it's good because we're the minority, and a lot of people that play that game aren't very good. And if they didn't have skill-based matchmaking, allegedly, apparently, looking at the data from these developers, they would be actually losing the player base, losing money. So they don't care if people like me leave and don't play the franchise. There's 20 other dudes stepping up behind me to replace me. And speaking of that, it's time to sort of move on, get on the horse, and ride into a different town and try to, be the sheriff there. That was a great analogy. And I figure, you know what, there's a lot of things I want to say, a lot of things I got opinions on, a lot of jokes that can be made. I'm pretty sure I'm an entertaining, funny guy, and I have a lot of stuff that I would like to share with you, and I think there's a lot of stuff that's more important and more fun and just better video content that we can make. And you know what? I think the first video I'm going to make that is not really Call of Duty related, well, not first video, I've made many before, but I think the first video with this new mindset going forward, a lot of controversial topics, a lot of stuff that we can talk about, and a lot of funny clips that we can watch. And actually, unlike, someone like Sexy Cyberwolf, who is just basically a chick with great eye makeup, and like all these people who react, who just have nothing else to add, they just sit there and give a fake laugh and just try to steal other people's clips by not actually adding anything. I think we can change the game just like I flipped the script in the Call of Duty community. I think we can flip the script here and add something different. You know what? Enough of the chitty chat. I got stuff to say. You got things you want to hear, and I think that we're going to rock and roll. And also, before I go any further, I put a community post up, which is one I can talk about right now. So yeah, I put this community post up, which was very interesting, and I'm going to talk about it real quick. You guys are some freaking animals out there. Look at my subscribers. It's like minds. People out here. Biggest votes, most votes ever. I know, right, guys? And look at the poster. Who would you vote for president? Joe Ice Cream Cone Biden got 5%. Donald Trump, 58%. Ron DeSantis, 20%. Other comment below. Normally commented below who they actually wanted, except some guy said I'd vote for Biblical Reaper over Biden. I think a half-eaten McDonald's cheeseburger is better than what we've got now. That guy thought whom this channel is dedicated to would be an awesome Prime Minister. Alejandro, Mexican Special Forces. Dude, it's awesome. You guys are based. I love it. I thought that was great. I just want to share that with you guys. We've already got 3.2 thousand votes in 4 hours. It's awesome. Look at that. What a base community we got here. That just further proves Call of Duty is not where we need to be. If I had like 95% Biden, I'd be like, okay, I think I'm host. I'm going to stick to doing Minecraft and ice cream reviews. So let's get back to the topic I had here of being awesome. And let's watch this first video by the old man who's been totally annexed for the entire freaking internet. Your boy, Mr. Tate.
I said this to Tristan the other day. The reason I don't play video games is not because I'm anti-video games. It's because they look fun as fuck. I see these video game videos and I'm like, that looks bad at what? Grenade.
Call of Duty.
Well, he's running in and out. It looks fun. And that's why I'm not going to play that, because what's going to happen is I'm going to end up good at that shit. If I'm me. And I end up spending so many hours becoming good at something and believing that it matters when it doesn't.
Okay, I get what he's saying. I actually want to talk about this. I saw this clip before, and I actually want to share it with you guys because we already, we're some gamers out here. We're MLG gamers, and I want to talk about that. It doesn't matter, right? Well, what does matter? I mean, if you're enjoying something and it's not hurting you in any other way, in a bad way, it's not an addiction where you are negating other aspects of your life, or it's leading to a detriment of your life, your physical health, mental health is not going down. Nothing really matters then beyond that. If you're enjoying something, you want to play it, do it. Him saying it doesn't matter, nothing matters. You can't hook a U-Haul up to their hearse. As my priest once said during his sermon, all this money and all this stuff that people acquire, when you're dead, you can't take it with you. You can enjoy it while you're here. So if you're enjoying whatever you're doing, you do it as long as it doesn't hurt you. I disagree there, Tate, on that one, kind of, but I know what he's trying to say, so I think he just didn't speak clearly. He's probably had one too many whiskeys.
I've got a diamond chain on my neck. It's worth a lot of money, yeah? If I decide to go walk around in the middle of the night in some hood place and I get robbed, who is going to feel sorry for me if I had it swinging around my neck? End of the day, I know what I'm doing, so it puts myself in a scenario. Exactly. I should be able to go anywhere in the world and wear what I want, but we don't, right? So
no, because it's not a fantasy world. People are disenfranchised. People are not as wealthy as others, and they see what you got this money, and they're starving. They got to pay their rent. They need some food. They got diapers, whatever it is. clap, clap, they're going to take it. So don't be stupid.
If I've got a daughter and my sister,
look
I'm
where
going to
it's
teach
going.
them and say, babes, you should be able to wear what you want, do what you want, and go where you want. But we live in a world where there's some evil people around. There's some demons, right? This is how you teach your kids. You don't teach them that everything in the world should be fine. Everything should be okay. You teach them the dangers and potential what can happen. What you guys do is, you guys say, you know what? Nothing matters in life. We go out there, and when something bad happens, then you want to scream, woe is me. I'm saying, actually, look it from a different perspective. We should be doing things. We should be mitigating scenarios on things that can potentially happen. That's all I'm saying.
So we got there again as you got a smart guy who's probably a conservative who faces reality and doesn't live in a fantasy world of candy popcorn and 18,000 genders. And the other people there are saying like, oh, we should be able to do what you want. No, you shouldn't. You have to realize the fact that no matter what you do, no matter what we have in this world of equality, equal outcomes, equal opportunities, whatever you want to do, how you think you're going to get there, no matter what happens, no matter what you do, you're still going to have evil and bad people that are going to do stuff, and you have to be smart about it. So if you can't have a girl, if one of a girl ends up getting taken advantage of, I don't know if I even see those words on the internet, but you know what I'm saying, if she gets without her permission, and she's dressed like in a certain way, yeah, you can't really blame her for that happening because evil people, but you have to be smart about yourself and be cognizant about what you're inviting in and where you're going and being actually aware and not live in a fantasy world that you think like that everyone is not going to somehow take advantage of you if you give them the opportunity. You got to be not naive is what I'm saying. You got to be face the facts, Jack.
If a man consents to sex, does that mean he's consenting to potentially becoming a father?
Well, if he was smart, he would use all the protection and he would do everything in his power to not be the father.
Right.
I think if it happens, it's a consequence of him making the decision of having sex.
Okay. If a woman consents to sex, does that mean she's consenting to potentially becoming a mother?
Dun, dun, dun.
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
If you're
what?
doing it, there's a risk of it.
Yeah.
If you take every precaution, you can, and whatever happens, happens.
So why is the man often blamed for getting a woman pregnant, aka knocking her up, when it actually takes two people?
You know what? I had the same problem in school. I used to talk a lot and get in trouble. Hard to imagine. They used to be like, hey, not 8 thoughts. Shut up. Stop talking. You're talking too much. You got to be quiet. You're getting in trouble. Move out to the hallway. I used to say, well, I'm not talking to myself. Why am I always the one getting in trouble?
That's tough.
I think it's just another stereotype.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Don't women ultimately get to decide who has sex and who gets born?
True.
Essentially.
Yes. I don't know how much to add to that. He just basically proved the point right there of the actual stereotypes and double standards that women have over men. Men really don't have a lot of rights nowadays, honestly. Like, sure, the rich and the elites and all those people do, but just, that's like 0.01% of the population that they try to use as an example. The rest of us down here, bro, I feel like we're getting kicked around sometimes. Just saying.
Women divorce men 70 to 80% of the time. I would argue in relationships it's probably similar. Men aren't leaving, women are. So to a guy's point of view, he's going to commit to this girl. And what does he get? He doesn't get purity anymore, these hoes. He doesn't get youth anymore, so he doesn't get either of those things. A lot of times she already has a kid, so he's not fulfilling his mating strategy. On top of that, even if he does find a good woman that maybe has the qualities he's looking for, she was going to want him to marry her. And what does he get out of that? Oh, she can leave and take half and take my kid. And she's paid to take my kids away from me. She gets more money if she takes my children. And so from the men's point of view, they're just kind of like, F it, because like women aren't wives nowadays. And what do they get out of it?
But
like men are logical. They're logical people, and so they're thinking, does the benefit outweigh the cost?
We might go deep on this one, boys. We might go deep. I think the way that the world has been set up and whatnot has led to this. And I don't know the agenda or political affiliations, more likely liberals for the female empowerment, has actually led us to the female and the male downfall of families, and what actually makes a strong, stable country, strong families, strong communities. And this whole female empowerment thing, too, that happened in the 70s, is also seems to me, now let's go deep here, stay with me, really seems to me the beginning of the fall for women and their women's rights. I mean, they got their rights to vote and all that, but then they took it too far, and what happened is that corporations and banks and people who want to make money realized what women could do. They could become earners. And when you're an earner and people pay you money, you got to realize that someone else is making more money. That's how a business works, right? In the NBA, they'll give LeBron James or whatnot, or any Major League Baseball player, or any athlete, they'll give you a $100 million contract, but it's a charity. If they're paying someone $100 million or $50 million a year, you better believe there's someone else is getting more than that back from them. And there's someone above them who's getting more than back from them as well. So if you are contributing to a society as a worker and you're paying taxes, you are making money for someone else, making money for corporations. You are nothing more, as the famous Matrix quotes would go, you're nothing more than a copper top. So these women were viewed as, hey, yeah, we should get them in the workforce instead of sitting home. They can help contribute to GDP and make our country better and richer for the rich and elites. You are now part of the whole system. Instead of being out of it and taking care of the kids and the family, you now are seen as a copper top Duracell, and the family and the structure and stuff falls apart, and you are now working, and you think it's because of feel empowerment. And the idea of being a stay-at-home mom, that being part of what you are and who you are as an identity, was somehow shown to be bad or made to be bad or seen as bad. That's a pretty deep story here, deep situation, and I think that's what we're seeing in the West. I think the West personally is declining. I don't know how long it's going to go down or how bad it's getting. Maybe 1,000 years, maybe 50 years, but it's very obvious that the structure is crumbling.
Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You know, like, you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
Well, I'm very glad I put you on the spot.
Well,
I'm very glad that I have exercised my freedom of speech.
You get my point. It's like you're doing what you should do, which is digging a bit to see what the hell's going on. And that is what you should do. But you're exercising your freedom of speech to certainly risk offending me. And that's fine. I think more power to you as far as I'm concerned.
So you haven't sat there and... I'm just trying to work that out. I mean...
What you're happening is that your brain is glitching out because your agendas and your ideas and your ideologies are based upon political speaking points, which are hollower than your brain. Boom. You know what? I'm going to end it on this. It's been a long video. I think I have a lot of stuff that you can see where we're going with this channel. A lot of things we can talk about. We can do so many different things here than being pigeonholed into talking bad about Call of Duty, which is just becoming played out and ridiculous and boring. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This has been something entirely different. So anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's see where this is going to head. Hope you guys have yourself a great day. Thank you for watching. If you're new here and you enjoyed this kind of content, subscribe. And last but not least, and most important, stay black. West Authority and what the high critical initiation white man. Bring it down.